particular region, northern Israel, southern Lebanon, is at the center of this entire round of this impasse between Iran and the United States. Did you ever think it would ever be a case like that?
The Hezbollah is going to be the single biggest hurdle when it comes to the US-Iran peace process.
Yes. How did Hezbollah become so important to Iran that it's treating it almost on par or possibly even more than its nuclear program?
Hezbollah is extremely important to them, even in terms of ideology.
Trump and Netanyahu were so close together. They were partners in this conflict. But I think Trump has somehow lost his patience now. He sees this as an unending war. He wants to get out.
It is not going to be that easy in terms of policy for Mr. Trump, I'm going to use that phrase, to cut and run.
Tell us about your understanding of the conflict zone in terms of, we are seeing a lot of these videos coming out of Hezbollah FPV drones targeting IDF tanks. How did Hezbollah get all these FPV drones? How are they getting this technology, given that they are under such intense pressure for so many years now?
It's not a question of getting a technology. This is the most rudimentary. And basically, you buy a drone from Amazon and you weaponize it.
Yes.
Lebanese Prime Minister banned the Hezbollah from taking part in military activity. Hezbollah basically, his response was that, try to ban us and see what happens. When you look at the military, the Lebanese army, not the Hezbollah, I mean, two brothers, one brother is the Hezbollah or another one is the Lebanese army. So who is going to fight whom?
Right.
How will you disarm Hezbollah? It's not easy.
It's not easy.
It's like, all of them are, everything is intertwined over there.
It's like a Gordian knot, what you've described.
You can't untie it.
You can't untie it, you can't cut it. There's no Alexander to slice through this.
Yes, and if you try to cut it, it's going to be immense. I mean, Lebanon is going to descend into complete civil war.
Hello and welcome to the Sandeep Unnithan Show, your weekly dose of defense, geopolitics and much more. Today I am joined at Chakra News Studios by Joyeeta Basu. Joyeeta is the editor of the Sunday Guardian. She's just back from another trip of Israel. She's been there, in fact, twice in 2 years. So she's fairly well traveled in that part of the world, which is kind of at the center of this new round of conflict between the United States and Iran. So, Joyeeta, welcome to my show.
Thank you. Thank you, Sandeep, for calling me.
Tell us about your trip, Joyeeta. You were there for what, a week?
Yes, around a week, yes.
Northern Israel.
The trip started from Jerusalem, Tel Aviv. Then we went to, northern Israel. Of course, Haifa was there.
Right.
Galilee. And then we went right up to Golan.
Right. And, this particular region, northern Israel, southern Lebanon, is at the center of this entire round of this impasse between Iran and the United States. Did you ever think it would ever be a case like that, where talks are deadlocked because of northern Israel, Hezbollah, southern Lebanon?
As it happens, the first article I wrote after I came back from Israel was that, in fact, I was writing even when in Israel, was that the Hezbollah is going to be the single biggest hurdle when it comes to the US-Iran peace process.
Yes.
And that was primarily because, there is a clear idea in Israel in particular that these are two different wars.
Right.
But at another level, if you look at it, it is not exactly a different war because it is Iran's proxy war.
Right.
When you're looking at Hezbollah.
You mean Israel-Iran is one war, Israel-Hezbollah is another war?
Yeah. Or rather, let's put it this way. US-Iran is one war.
Right.
Because if you are looking at it right now, Israel has taken a backseat when it comes to Iran.
Yes.
And Israel-Hezbollah is another war.
Yes.
Now, that is what exactly I would say some the people that you talk to, I'm not talking about the experts.
Yeah.
That is the feeling that is there on the ground, that these are two different wars.
Right.
That there is no way Iran should be allowed to bring Hezbollah to the table.
Right.
But that is what exactly Iran has been doing.
Yeah.
And that is what I wrote also, because just when we returned, as it happened, Arakchi, the foreign minister, Abbas Arakchi, the foreign minister of Iran, he wrote to the current Hezbollah leader saying that Hezbollah is going to be front and center when it comes to our deal with the
Right.
US. And unless and until Israel is they're ceasing fire
Right.
and they are moving out of Lebanon, southern Lebanon in particular, there is no deal. So that was obvious that they would not let Hezbollah off the table, and that's what happened.
But, this is very interesting, Joyeeta, that we always thought that the biggest stumbling block between Iran and the United States was going to be the nuclear question. How did Hezbollah become so important to Iran that it's treating it almost on par or possibly even more than its nuclear program?
Well, actually, if you're looking at the situation of the nuclear program, what has happened in Iran is that, listen, whatever I'm telling you, whatever I have heard from the Israelis.
Right.
And I might as well make it clear to the viewers that we were taken there by the Israel's Ministry
By the government
of
of Israel.
By the
Yes.
government of Israel. But at the same time, one good thing about Israel is that there are a lot of independent voices
Yes.
also. So you do get
It's
to
a
hear
democracy
lot.
like ours.
It's a democracy
Right.
like ours. You see, nobody is just going to sit there and give you the government's line. No, it does
Right.
not work like that over there, which is very good, I would say. So anyway, the thing is, you see, the feedback or whatever information we got was that when it comes to the nuclear program, Iran's, in fact, they're saying first 40 seconds of
Right.
the war, the bombing,
Yeah.
that decimated, I would say, 60% of number one, Iran's launchers,
Right.
ballistic missile
You're talking
launcher.
of February 28th,
February 28.
Saturday, 2026.
Yes,
Right.
February 28th, Saturday. So, number one, they were able to destroy around 60% of their ballistic missile launchers.
Right.
Number one. Number two, they were able to take out a huge infrastructure when it comes to nuclear. And as you know, Sandeep, this attack has been going on for ever since 2024.
Yes.
Okay, and after that, if you remember last year, around June or July, there was an attack on Iran's nuclear facilities with Fordo and all those
That's right,
things.
Natanz.
So, and they had destroyed all those, I would say, that S-300 missile system
Yes,
that were protecting that air defense.
Right.
So they have been kind of, I would say, some kind of erosion in terms of Iran's ability or capability to defend their nuclear program has already been eroded.
Right.
So it was much easier this time. By the beginning of March, I would say,
Right.
what they are saying is that we have been able to decimate things in a manner. So it will take them quite a few years for their nuclear program to be back on track, if
Right.
at all.
Right.
Okay, number one, they have lost generations of scientists. They have lost the infrastructure. They have lost a lot of things, basically.
Right.
So, nuclear question, except for that 440 kg of enriched
Yeah.
uranium that
Right.
they have, except for that, I would say at the 60% enrichment
Yes.
they're talking about. Except for that, perhaps the nuclear question is not the priority for even Iran right now, because they know that it is not possible for them to revive unless. So, but how do they contain Israel?
Right.
This is one thing. They have not given up. Even after the kind of decimation they have faced, even then, they have not given up the, basically their cause, if you can say, of obliterating Israel. When it comes to the proxies, these are the proxies. Hezbollah is extremely important to them, even in
Right.
terms of ideology also.
Of course, they're Shia,
Yeah,
and
they're Shia.
they were weaponized
Yes.
by Iran in
Exactly.
1982 when Israel invaded
Yes.
Lebanon. But that's an interesting thought, Joyeeta. You're saying that because Iran doesn't have access to HEU or it cannot revive its nuclear weapons program,
As easily as yet.
so Hezbollah becomes that much more important to Iran. So it's like a nuclear weapon for them that they can use
Well,
against Israel.
they have weaponized. But you see, Israel also has taken down quite a bit of Hezbollah's military infrastructure decapitation operation.
Yes.
That period,
Yes.
September 17th, and then the Hezbollah, that pager attack happened
Yes,
in
of
2024. And then 27th September 2024, Hassan Nasrallah was taken out, and then Israel went in, Operation Northern Arrow, after 24 years, I think.
Yes.
Something like that.
after 25. We were there at that,
Yes.
during that trip, right? In September 2024 when
September 2024.
one of our minders who was a reservist. You remember that thing?
Yes.
The lieutenant colonel? He picked up his bag and said, I'm off.
I'm off, and he went away.
And he went off
Yeah,
to
so
the
and
north.
Nasrallah was killed the day after we returned.
That's right. Yes. So what are the changes that you've seen in Israel in that 2024 trip that I was part of with you, and now nearly 2 years apart? Do you see a sense of a sense of despondency, because you've been fighting for 2 years now, right?
Yeah, I think that is something I really find absolutely, and we all agree on this, Sandeep. And the thing is that I think they're amazingly resilient. I mean, it is like part of their life, I would say. Every time there's a siren, they will go inside the bunkers.
Yes.
And the very next minute, once everything is cleared, they're out there jogging on the beach, running.
I have to say this because, that time when we came under a ballistic missile attack, I think Hezbollah fired from that one single IRBM that they had fired. And I was there giving that live outside the hotel. And there were people, doing yoga and cycling behind.
Yes.
So I got a call from the PCR. They said, sir, there are all these people and you're talking about war. There are people behind you who are jogging and cycling and all. I said, well, that's the Israeli people, that's how they are.
And
so resilient.
That is how they are exactly even now. But the difference is basically at that time, the focus was on Hamas.
Yes.
Because we had gone, the 2024 trip was in September, 11 months before, in fact, less than 11 months before October, anniversary of October 7th, the first anniversary of October 7th. So as a result of which, if you remember, all that we saw, the first thing that hits you when you reach the airport, I mean, land over there, all those yellow cross
That's
over
right.
there,
the
saying
families.
that, bring them home.
The hostages.
Bring them hostages.
Right.
I think 350 days or something like that it was at point of time. It was everywhere, and that's what everyone was talking about. And I would say, to an extent, from whatever I could gather at that time, was that, Israel has been preparing to fight the Hezbollah for decades, for at least 20 years.
Yeah.
But the attack came from Hamas.
From Hamas. They were, taken by surprise.
They were taken by surprise.
Right.
So there was a lot of, I would say, there was a lot of despondency, more despondency at that time than now, I would say.
What is the mood of the people now? Are they more...
The people are, as I mentioned, they are talking about, we do not want war. We want this war to stop. Enough is enough. Our children should not be going to war. And we do not want them killed, because we can talk a little bit about what is happening in the northern areas. So, but we understand how big a menace Iran is. So actually, a lot on this will depend, I would say, Netanyahu's election, which is coming up.
September.
Surprisingly, of course, there are people who are talking about war after war. We cannot take this anymore. But there's Iran factor. And the other thing is actually purely domestic issue. They're conservative, the Jews, that they have Orthodox.
Yes, the Orthodox
They do not have to send their children and all.
Into military service.
Yes. So that is a big issue.
Right. So Netanyahu goes into the elections in October. And Trump is facing his midterms in November. So both these buddies. And I was actually, just this morning, I was reading this piece by Seymour Hersh, where he says that Trump breaks with Bibi. And he says that this is a historic rupture. He's calling it a historic rupture, Trump and Netanyahu were so close together. They were partners in this conflict. But I think Trump has somehow lost his patience now. He sees this as an unending war. He wants to get out. He got trapped into this conflict, if you look at it.
No, but at the same time, if you're talking to the Americans, and I have been talking to some, of course, I mean, not just Jewish Americans, I've talking to hardcore Trump supporters also. Now, they are saying at one level they are happy, because they all see Iran is the biggest factor over there.
Yes.
Let's not forget that the USA is the great Satan.
According to the Iranians.
Iranians.
Right.
So both are Satans.
Right.
So I don't know whether anyone has told Mr. Trump that or not, because that they regard you as the Satan. Perhaps he will change his views about Iran after that. We don't know. Trump seems to be saying, what is wrong with them having ballistic missiles and all, which is absolutely a no-no. Now, whether this rupture that everyone is in fact talking about, whether that is actually a fact, or because you see, when it comes to the Jewish lobby, it is very strong.
Right. In the United
US.
States.
It is extremely strong.
Right.
So it is not going to be that easy in terms of policy for Mr. Trump, I'm going to use that phrase, to cut and run. It is not going to
It's not going to be easy.
Jared Kushner, he himself is a Jewish. Isn't it?
And his daughter, Ivanka, she's also Jewish. She's converted.
I think,
yes.
So the whole point is that it's not going to be easy. So it all... that is something why I'm wondering, I have started wondering, is that the reason why suddenly J.D. Vance is the face of the American onslaught against Israel, an assault against Israel, verbal assault at least.
I saw those statements that Vance made. I mean, it was just shocking, to say the least. He says, you guys are just 7 million people. You don't have any, stakes. Exactly like how they were talking to Zelensky when he had come to the White House, the Oval Office. They're now saying that of Israel. But, Joyeeta, I want to move back to Lebanon and to Hezbollah, because you spent a long time there. Tell us about your understanding of the conflict zone. In terms of, we are seeing a lot of these videos coming out of Hezbollah FPV drones targeting IDF tanks. How did Hezbollah get all these FPV drones? How are they getting this technology, given that they are under such intense pressure for so many years now?
Okay, first of all, one of the reasons I would say, it's not a question of getting a technology. This is the most rudimentary. And basically, you buy a drone from Amazon and you weaponize it.
Yes.
So, this is the most basic FPV drones. They cannot be detected by Iron Dome.
Yeah.
These are basically analogs. I mean, you will be able to better...
So they're DIY drones, but then these ones which with the cables. The fiber optic cables.
Fiber optic cables, these cables are around kilometers long, they are saying. So if they are firing these drones from their areas, these drones are coming into, of course, that southern Lebanon part and into even the north, kilometers long.
Right.
They're talking about. And these are very, they're targeting individual tanks, maybe individual soldiers,
that's right,
and stuff like that. I had gone to this place called, there's a hospital over there. So they said, because the nature of the warfare has changed now, what is happening, they had started getting, because these drones are coming and hitting the soldiers of their head, there were lots of head injuries they were getting. So what Israel has done now is that IDF, they changed the helmets of the soldiers.
Oh, really? Interesting. Okay.
They have made it into ceramic helmets. As a non-defense person, I would not be able to say what the significance of it. But apparently, it has reduced the hits on the heads. So as a result, what they are getting right now is hits on the limbs. So a lot of amputations and all are taking place, which is sad.
So ceramic, very quickly, Joyeeta, is the material that they use for the hard face of the bulletproof jackets. It's like the so-called rifle plate, which protects your vitals. So it's extremely resilient, that material, and that is possibly why the Israelis are using it for helmets.
Helmets they are using.
Earlier it used to be steel, and they possibly think ceramic is a far better, more
you see, so what has happened is that there are quite a few of these missiles that they were using, including ballistic missiles. And now these ballistic missiles and these larger rockets and all, the Hezbollah was firing, and they were coming and hitting straight to Tel Aviv.
Right.
So that city with those big towers and all.
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, in terms of optics, fabulous for the Hezbollah.
Yeah.
So Israel, to a large extent, concentrated on taking out their launcher capabilities.
Right.
What they did with Iran also.
Yes.
And they were largely successful to a large extent. They may not have been able to take out their missiles altogether, but their launchers have been taken out to a large extent, because of which they are not being able to fire these missiles any longer. Hezbollah is not firing any ballistic missile. If you have noticed, in this war that has happened, they are firing rockets. But what they have now is that they have lots of thousands and thousands of small rockets.
Right.
Now, that is one problem that Israel has not been able to this thing. And since the nature of warfare, of course, you know it very well, has changed to the
Yes.
extent that, it is about drone warfare
That's right.
primarily. And so they have started this new technique. This I heard from inside IDF also, and I heard from these OSINT people who are there along the Lebanon border. They also said, now this is becoming a major problem. They are suddenly coming and destroying. And Hezbollah thing about them is that they target civilians.
Right.
They target
Israeli civilians
in the northern areas. So what they are doing is that they are constantly sending in these drones. But to an extent, I would say the situation was not that bad, maybe in the last 2-3 weeks, because Israel is inside southern Lebanon. IDF is inside southern Lebanon, that forward line, and that they have yellow line that they have over there. So they are being to, I would say, stop a lot of those drones, etc. They are coming.
Right.
So, but then there are good days and then there are bad days.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what is happening because of that is that the northern people who are based in the northern areas, they are saying that you cannot bring the IDF out. One of the conditions that Iran is putting on the US, that IDF will have to leave southern Lebanon. But the minute they leave southern Lebanon, what happens? The Hezbollah comes back over there.
Right.
Okay, and there were these Shia villages in southern Lebanon, which were used as dual-use villages.
Right. They have all been emptied out.
They have all been emptied out. So as a result of which there is a humanitarian crisis also to a degree, because you see all these villages have been, and they're people who are homeless, refugees now, refugees in their own country. That is what has happened. But at the same time, these were also weapons dumps. There were tunnels over there. They're still discovering and clearing those places and all. So sometimes now, what these people are fearing, that you see, they are going to go back to a situation where Hezbollah again starts firing rockets. And even now, whatever is coming, a lot of pressure is coming on, as one of the OSINT people told us, that basically a local problem, a domestic problem becomes an international issue.
Yes.
Because there are these 43, I would say, communities over there.
Right.
All these communities have mayors. Now, these 43 mayors are putting pressure on Netanyahu that, number one, you cannot bring out the IDF from there. And number two, you have to go further inside Lebanon.
Deeper into Lebanon.
Yeah, meaning go up to Beirut.
Litani. Oh, to Beirut.
Go up to Beirut. Right. There is a neighborhood over there called Dahia.
Dahia, which is a Hezbollah stronghold.
Hezbollah stronghold. That is where, from where the Hezbollah runs
Nasrallah was assassinated there.
So they are saying, you go in there and you hit them hard over there. And this is a deal breaker as far as Iran is concerned.
Right.
Okay, but Netanyahu is under domestic pressure.
Yes.
And it's a fact that, all those, it's a stronghold. Because here's something one has to also see it in terms of the political situation in Lebanon. Because, as you know, there are these Shias, there are the Sunnis, there are these Maronite Christians and stuff like that. It's a very complicated thing. But what happened was that 28th February, the war started.
Yes.
28th February, 1st, 2nd March, Hezbollah started firing rockets at Israel, the northern areas. At that time, the Lebanese Prime Minister, Lebanese Prime Minister banned the Hezbollah from taking part in military activity. All right? But the Hezbollah, so technically Hezbollah is banned.
Yes.
But Hezbollah basically, his response was that, try to ban us and see what happens. So what might happen in Lebanon, because that is the biggest problem when it comes to the Lebanese government and the Hezbollah. I mean, it is said that Hezbollah runs a state within a state.
Yes.
But now it is said, there are people, I was reading this book which says Hezbollah doesn't run a state within a state. Hezbollah is the state in Lebanon.
Right.
So it is impossible for the current government in Lebanon to basically disarm the Hezbollah
Yeah.
without going into a civil war.
Hmm.
Because that is what is ultimately going to happen. But apparently, this I heard from one Maronite Christian
Right.
whose parents had fled from Lebanon and they are now in Israel. So according to him, Jonathan El Khoury, I think his name is, yes, he is saying that when it comes to the Sunnis, when it comes to the Christians, the Druze, all of them have turned against Hezbollah.
Right.
Okay, all of them have turned against Hezbollah. Basically the Shia population, and the only support Hezbollah is getting is from the Shia. So the whole idea is then, if your popularity is going down, but then the problem is, you see, it's there's no separation as such, because of the nature of their constitution. As you know, the president has to be a Maronite Christian.
Yeah.
The prime minister has to be
denominations.
the Sunni Muslim, and Hezbollah basically the speaker.
Yes.
So all these things, so as a result of which there's a political wing of the Hezbollah. They're
Yes.
elected. So they're part of the government.
They're lawmakers. That's
They're
right.
lawmakers.
Yes.
At the same time, when you look at the military, the Lebanese army, not the Hezbollah, I mean, two brothers. One brother is a Hezbollah,
Yeah.
and maybe with the Radwan force,
Yeah,
Radwan unit
yeah.
or something, one of the Hezbollah's units, military units, or another one is the Lebanese army.
Right. Right.
If there are two brothers, who is going to fight whom?
Right.
How will you disarm Hezbollah? It's not easy.
It's not easy.
It's,
That's
it's,
right.
it's like, all of them are, everything is intertwined over there.
It's like a Gordian knot, what you've described.
You can't untie it.
You can't untie it, you can't
can't.
cut it. There's no Alexander to slice through this.
Yes, and if you try to cut it, it's going to be immense. I mean, Lebanon is going to descend into complete civil war.
Civil war indeed. And you don't see any way out of this impasse, Joyeeta. Since you've been there for so long, you've kind of reported very extensively from there. You've spoken to experts. You don't see any solution to this. Israel is going to remain there, right, from the looks of it. In southern Lebanon, it's displaced a lot of Lebanese, the Hezbollah
Shia
civilians,
people,
Shias,
civilians,
and all of that. Israel is also in possession of large areas, more than 500 square kilometers in Syria as well.
Yeah, Syria, actually, if you ask me, it's all quiet on the Syrian front
Is
right
it?
now. Yes.
Oh, what about Trump telling Giuliani that, hey, Israelis can't take care of Hezbollah? Maybe I need to get my Sharaa, who's the head of government in Syria.
Al-Sharaa,
Giuliani,
Ahmad Al-Sharaa.
That's right.
Ex-ISIS.
Ex-ISIS, ex-Al-Qaeda. My God, and a head of state.
No, you see, this is the thing about remember, he's a Sunni.
Yes.
And if you remember what was happening before that, Bashar Assad, he was basically a conduit.
Yes.
He was basically bringing in, helping Iran to transfer arms to Hezbollah.
Hezbollah, that's right.
So one of the reasons I would say they were happy or they allowed Sharaa to take control of Damascus was because Sharaa is not allowing Iranian arms to come to Hezbollah.
That's right. So Hezbollah is marooned in a sense.
Yes,
Yeah.
in that way. So that is also one of the reasons that Hezbollah is not now going into this kind of warfare where they use these small drones.
Yes.
And some damage is caused.
Right.
Because that source of arms and ammunition has dried up to a large extent because of Ahmad al-Sharaa.
Right.
But then, as I wrote in my piece, there is a fallout.
Yes.
Some kind of consequences are there when you allow ISIS to run a country.
You see Sharaa Giuliani entering Lebanon and fighting Hezbollah on the US's behalf, as Trump seems to indicate.
Well, I think that will be, for Israel, that will be a good thing if that happens. But is he in a position? His army is like, because if you're looking at his army, I think there are 22 commanders or something. They're coming straight from the ISIS.
Yes.
That Shia-Sunni factor is always there.
That's right, yeah.
The Shia-Sunni, that is the only thing that can possibly motivate them, and money.
Yeah.
The other thing, because Syria, I was told, in fact, met some UNTSO peacekeepers over there. They said that Syria is devastated. It's in very bad shape. And in fact, met these Druze. Went to this Druze village called Julis, somewhere in in Upper Galilee.
Yeah.
They talked about, you see, that is what I'm saying, the consequences, the fallout of having an ISIS man ruling our country.
Yes.
There was this massacre that took place. Because after all, it's all about their own faith and religion for
Yes.
these
The
people.
massacre of the Druze.
Massacre of the Druze that took place in a place called Sweda. There's a governorate called
Yes.
Sweda. It's about 20 or 30 kilometers from the border with Israel, a border demarcation, that line right now that is there, demilitarized zone. So what happened over there was that, I mean, these UNTSO people told us that, the fight was actually between the Bedouins and the Druze.
Right.
Because it's already tribal over there.
Yes.
They are also and apparently that is how the massacre started. But these guys said that the Druze said that it was ISIS, meaning Al-Shara's force,
Yeah.
that they killed around, I think, 2,000, 3,000 the Druze. And right now they are also, these Druze also have arms.
Right.
They're all armed over there. This massacre took place in July 2025.
Yes.
And nobody is talking except that they're getting some help from Israel.
Right.
But right now they're surrounded from all sides by the Al-Qaeda, ISIS types, and they're surviving. They all have taken to arms.
Right.
So that is how they're surviving. So that region, if you look at it, the way Ahmad al-Sharaa is, well, I was reading history. It has happened before that Syrians have gone into Lebanon, and basically the objective was different at that time.
Right.
Annihilate Israel. But this time, whether they will do it again or history repeats itself or not, we do not know. It's difficult to say. But right now, Syria is also in a very bad situation.
It is. It doesn't exist in the form that it did before 2023.
Yes.
It's no longer
it's racked by poverty.
Warlords, I would imagine.
Warlords, and there is ISIS people. But yes, if America decides to arm them and asks them to take on Hezbollah, because the hatred that is there among them, between the two,
the Shia and the Sunnis.
Shia and Sunnis,
Right.
maybe that will propel them. We do not know.
Right.
But yes, at one level, that's a good solution for Israel because Hezbollah is taken care of by this thing. But will Iran agree to it? We don't know.
We don't know, indeed. But thank you so much. It's been so good listening to you, Joyeeta. Fascinating. And, to hear it from the words of someone who's been there on ground zero and seen all of this and reported on it extensively lends a new aspect to this very, very, what can I call it, beguiling conflict that's been on for 3 years. It's possibly going to enter its 4th year. The whole world is held hostage to that. Who would have thought that, a crisis in West Asia would see the global economy take a hit the way it has. But thank you once again, Joyeeta, for joining us. And for all of you out there, you can read Joyeeta's writings in the Sunday Guardian, which of course she edits. It's one of the best newspapers around for the kind of range of opinions that she showcases. And of course, a lot of field reporting done by Joyeeta herself. So thank you again.
Thank you so much, Sandeep.
Thank you, Joyeeta.
For so much. And for that high praise. I like that.
So do tune into Chakra News for more such updates. We'll keep getting Joyeeta as and when she travels to interesting travel spots across the world.
Otherwise
Thank you,
he's not
Joyeeta.
getting me. It's interesting. Okay.
Thanks, Joyeeta.